Fantastic. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Legacy and Impact. It is January, was it the 11th, I think, today. Again, it is amazing how time flies. I mean, we're already 11 days into January. Seems like January 1st was just yesterday, but lots going on, in the world. It is a super exciting time, and it is a privilege and an honor to welcome you to Legacy and Impact tonight. Great to see you again, Ashley, down in Arizona, Jeff out in California, Margaret in California, Byron in California. And I know that there's going to be a number of other people joining us as the call goes on. The West Coast is well represented tonight. I am speaking to you from Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and getting ready to head back to Southern California for tax season, which is rapidly upon us. So if anybody has anything to say, would like to bring us up to speed about any developments that you have had this week, or anything exciting, made money, lost money, learned this, met this person, the call is open. If anybody would like to share, now is your time.
Well, America's finally got into crypto. It started yesterday. They have the ETFs started for Bitcoin, and I'm trying to see if my prediction is right. I might be wrong. It may start going up, but I don't know yet. But I do know that I do see Ether going up. Ether's almost doubled its price in the last week. But I think they're trying to straighten things out with Bitcoin and because a lot of people bought it, and Michael Saylor actually sold some of his business so he can buy more Bitcoin. So, they're trying to work something out with Bitcoin right now. I don't know, but America's finally got us into crypto, which is very dangerous. So, I'm dying to see where we're going to go. I knew we were going to go crypto eventually, because there's 62 sectors in crypto. We only have 11. So I think we have now 12 considering as of yesterday, but I don't know yet. But I'm dying to see where we're going to go with it. I wished I had the money to get myself at least 2 Bitcoins and I'd be really set for good, but I'm still working on that. So I'm glad to see that we're finally changing in that area.
Oh, yes. Very, very exciting because we knew it would eventually come, right? From a tax perspective, as I tell all my clients, we're still in the gray area, right? The gray area was when the laws haven't been defined. They're trying to figure it out. And the gray area can be a very blissful place as opposed to when everything becomes black and white. So, what's great about the ETF offering now becoming mainstream, right, is that now Bitcoin is legitimized, where it's now traded in funds and available, uh, done through the big warehouses, the financial powerhouses that control everything. So it's not necessarily a great step for us as independents in the DeFi sector, but the fact that it's becoming mainstream and legitimized, it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens, whether it does start trading aggressively and increase in value, right? As of today, Bitcoin is back up to $46,000 per Bitcoin. And as we know, it's been as high as 65,000, and then it went back down to 11 after that. And so it's been gradually climbing up as it is increased, as it's going through the approval process. The SEC is still creating havoc for a lot of the independent crypto players and crypto platforms. And that's always disappointing because the government appears to insist on messing things up and screwing things up, all in the interest of protecting people. But when you're protecting people by making companies go down and forcing bankruptcy and having tons of investors lose money simply because the position of the goal of the government. Not a huge advocate of that, but again, Jeff, it's great. It's great to see the developments that are going on. So, and with reference to Bitcoin, um, we're in the middle of a trade, something that started a long time ago when Bitcoin was just low, was in the 15 or 16, and now we had bought into a trade, and now it's so high, the yield will be probably 10 times what we anticipated that transaction is going to be. So it's good moment in time, good moment in history. So. And one thing, Jeff, is you're still early. No matter where you're at, you're still early in the game, right? Because this is we haven't even begun. We haven't even begun to see the impact of what crypto means moving forward in the future. So,
Well, I just don't get why the United States is holding back. I guess it's because the dollar is the power of the trades right now,
yeah.
and so they know that it's eventually going to die. It's going to have to convert. And like I said, I've already seen the structure, and I, I do really feel in my heart that we're going to go crypto. I just don't like it because we're going to go cashless, and I see it right now. And if there was some kind of coin or cash that we could carry around, that would be fine to go into the crypto and make it cash. Where people can still carry some kind of cash with them, even though it may be digital cash. But still, I think it would be better than just going cashless. Because I still like trading in cash.
Of
I
course.
still think that's still a bargain deal. It's like right now, I know everybody's hurting and everybody's not paying money, but I got cash, so that's what counts. And this is when you can find bargains. But
Well,
I
and
just
that's where it all began. The monetary system came through barter, trading gems or jewels or something for something else that you had of value. You could take something small and valuable, keep it in your pocket, and do an exchange, and it was fair. You know, you can't always have trade a cow for something. So they would trade gems, and they would trade shells, and they would trade silver and shekels, and through the years what is unfortunate about this moment in time and the government's role, right? Is cryptocurrency was created to get everything out from the central banking system, out of the control. And the governments literally poo-pooed it because they couldn't control it. So all they've done is they've quashed and they've quashed and they've quashed as much as they can of the independent spirit. And now they're opening it up in a way where they can control it, right? It's for the government, it's all about control. And they are, unfortunately, with your wallet, with your cryptocurrency, with anything that they have their paws or their claws into, they're going to be able to turn it on or turn it off, right? Just like electric cars, all of the electric cars, if they will get to a point where you won't be able to charge your car, you won't be able to, and they'll literally be able to turn it off because it's all going to be connected to the grid. That's where they're going, and that's why they're going there, right? Sad reality. So that's why get off the grid, build the empire. So, but
that's what I'm trying
I
to
don't really
do.
want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that tonight. So,
No,
all
but
right.
I did see it. I do like the structure. Like I said, there's 62 sectors in the crypto. There is, finance, building, banking, and utilities. Even everything's in there. Gaming, even
Yeah.
the adult
Gaming
adult
is gaming is going to be the thing that absolutely takes off, right? You
Well, I think there's two things. One, which I'm not too much into gaming. I mean, I know
Nor
Doom
am I.
things and Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man, and I go way back on that. So that's about as far as I go. But uh, I do like the 3D virtual working program where you put the goggles on and you can actually do 3D imaging and you can do, like if you're designing something, you can actually work it in 3D and it actually, you see all the things there. one thing I like about it is that you put the glasses on and you can set up three individual virtual screens and operate through the virtual screens, which is really nice. I mean, I think that's going to progress us a whole bunch when it comes to technology and inventors and stuff like that. That people in with all the new type of technology we have, the 3D printers, they're going to advance us really quick because
Yep.
we can visually see things. You know, because I have the vision, I can actually see things. That's why I was good in photography. But when it comes down to like doing architect and stuff like that, I mean, I could see it. That's how come I know how to take pictures of buildings and angles and structures. But with now this new technology, anybody can see it.
Right.
So
Well, and the key is this is all next generation stuff. We're
right.
we're old school. We're never really going to embrace what's capable because that needs to be
Oh, I
that's
am. I love all the new technology. I mean, I'm always studying and learning new technology. I don't want to just sit back and say, "Oh, I'm old." I'd rather
Well,
just
no, I what I meant was, the time that we grew up, how we were raised, our brains are wired much more for kinetic, kinetic association and grabbing a ball or riding a bike or that whole
right.
thing. Because that's how we were raised. Like the little ones, they're on these cell phones and they're going through it like nothing. It's because their brains are already wired. They're already early adopters of it. And that's all I mean. So, but it's
Yeah, I
again,
know. I still haven't figured out the thumb operating on the finger. I mean, thumb operating the phone. I mean, I watch those people with the thumb, and I'm like, really, I can't do that. So,
well, the announcement for tonight, I sent the text, I wrote it, I sent it off 2 hours, and it's like, how come it never came through? And it just literally just virtually disappeared. And I don't know what happened.
well, it came through on a different phone number.
Well, no, it's on the text line. It's not my personal line, but neither way.
Okay,
Again, that's just I'm not that technical, and I have to do what I can to stay above board. So, all
okay,
right,
I'll be quiet.
let's
Let somebody else talk.
let's stay on point. Let's stay on point. So, anybody else have anything super exciting that you learned this week you want to share? You made some money, you lost some money, doors opened for you, something incredible happened. Anybody? Hey, Monica, great to see you. I see you joined us. Good stuff.
Hi, Steve. Hi, everybody.
Hey there. All right. So lots to talk about tonight. If everybody's going to be, he doesn't have anything to share so much, then let's dive into the information, the slides tonight. I'm going to start off with the screen share and get everybody back on point with where we are for legacy and impact and the purpose of everything. Can I do it? Can I do it? Where is it? Where is it? There. All right. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. So once again, the concept, and again, we're going to go back to the roots. We're going to talk about taxes tonight, but legacy and impact. Everything that we are doing is geared towards long-term thinking, long-term actions, long-term investing, long-term learning, long-term generational wealth, right? And it's very easy for us to, as we're in the day to day, sometimes forget that we are part of a continuum, right? And today is only going to exist once. What we did today will impact tomorrow and the next day and the next day, as long as we are advancing present to we are part of a continuum, right? So the legacy that we are building is not going to happen unless you do it. So dream big, dream concrete thoughts, concrete ideas, and everything that we are building as within this legacy, we are going to positively impact the world. Certain things we absolutely cannot impact or control or do anything to. But within our core circle, within the people that we interact with, we have massive impact possibilities, right? We're going to build your legacy and impact the world. Legacyandimpact.org is the website. Again, we are a revolutionary and unique financial empowerment organization. What we do, we're creating a paradigm shift within our own minds and within our world. We're shifting. Again, I know most people on this line are truly embrace the concept of contribution, bringing value to others, learning through our own challenges that are learning, and then sharing with others, making the world better, putting you in the middle of the conversation. We understand that success needs to be defined before it's ever going to happen. Success is very simply reaching a predetermined goal, right? If your goal was to be on the call tonight on time or within region, right? You are a success. Congratulations. Pat yourself on the back. We all need accountability partners. We understand that nothing is going to happen unless we hold ourselves accountable and others will hold us accountable too. Our mindset is of incredible importance, and mastering your mind is of incredible importance, right? So, all right. So what we're going to talk about tonight is the tax season. Okay. The tax season is upon us. Most people live in fear of the tax season. Would everybody agree? Right? What if, blah, blah, blah. No, hell no. When you're working with me, you should be excited. Great. Last year is done. Everything is ready to go. I know approximately where I'm at. I know where I did good. I know where we had to work on certain things, right? So how to be better prepared for this tax season right now. I'm going to show you accessing some investment properties. We've been talking about fourplexes, threeplexes, fourplexes, different types of properties in other states. And lastly, there is no time like now. All right. So quit the screen share and let's hit the ground running. Okay. With reference to taxes, right? So everybody has to file taxes. The information that is needed with reference to how to be better prepared for our taxes so that way it's not an issue. Number one, all of your income, right? You want to know where all of your income came from last year. Are you getting a W-2 for the documentation? Are you getting a 1099 for it? Or was it something that you just collected cash on? Is it going to be stated income? Your income's really, really important because that's going to determine how much expenses and how we need to play the game. Most people with their W-2 income have already paid money in taxes. The objective is to make sure we get back as much of that as possible and nobody owes, right? So that's our income realm, okay? When it comes to documentation, what I recommend that people do is grab a folder, like a manila folder, put it right next to where your mail comes in. So when your W-2s come in, they go right into the folder. Your 1098s for your mortgage come in, they go right into the folder. Your stock portfolio, your 1098 Bs and miscellaneous and all that, they come in, they go right into the folder. Don't have them all over the place so that way when it's time, you can go through and go, okay, I got that, I got that, I got that, I got that. I'm ready to file my taxes, right? So many times people, they come in and they go, oh, I'm missing this, and everything gets held up, right? So because you as you're going through the process, you want to get it done, you want to get the boxes checked, you want to get your refund on your way back, or if you owe money, you want to get that taken care of as early as possible, right? Some people that owe money, or that some people that are not prepared as part of their strategy, they'll file for an extension. An extension is fine. It's a great strategy. But if you're going to owe money, you're supposed to pay something towards the money that you owe prior to April 15th. Otherwise, they start charging you interest for it, right? My interaction with the IRS right now is it's a completely different ball game, and it's a ball game full of wild cards, right? They are doing things that they have never done before. So I think that internally they're shaking things up, and they're going to be putting a lot of fear in people. So nobody on this call or nobody that I work with should be afraid. You just want to be really, really organized. And as we are putting things together, nothing is going in by accident. Everything goes in with intention and understanding so that that way our income, our expenses are in very close alignment. Companies that anything if we need to set something up, if there was somewhere where you're falling short, we know that we need to address that in this year, 2024, right? So you want to be best prepared, right? If you have investment portfolio, so there's a 1099B that would come from your stock exchange if you're involved in cryptocurrencies, anything like that. You want to go through all of the platforms, download the tax documentations. It'll be a 1099B or a profit and loss if you're on Coinbase, right? So pay very close attention to those documents. That's really important, right? Also, if you have an independent business and you've been accepting money from Venmo or Zelle or Cash App or any of those things, or you've been collecting actual money, keep very good notes of how much money you had coming in, right? Stated income is a good thing because then that allows us to write off additional things as an independent contractor. Does that make sense? Any questions about any of that on how to be better prepared for your tax filing? It's not tax strategies. This is just to get it filed. Anybody have any questions about that?
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Byron.
Uh, this is Byron. Yes, I have a question. There is a new like form or something that we have to fill out for LLC coming in 2024 that I saw, and it was to pretty much I guess tie or to let the IRS knows exactly who owns the business. Have you heard about something like that?
Yes, of course. And we're handling for our clients, we're handling those for them, right?
Okay.
Again, there's so much fear hype behind this because there's oh my God, blah blah. You're going to be fined $500 a day and blah 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 blah
Right.
blah.
Right.
If you have an entity, an LLC that was already set up prior to 2024, you have an entire year to file that form. Okay.
Okay.
But it
Where do
does
we
need,
get the form?
but it does need
Can
to
we
be,
look up the form?
yeah, I can help you with
Okay.
that. Okay. It's
Okay.
under,
All right.
you get it through, the financial, FinCEN, FINCEN. That's the Financial Criminal Enforcement or Crime Enforcement Network, right, of the government.
FINCEN.
Correct. Right. And it's
Okay.
not for the IRS. And
Okay.
as I tell people, there's a lot of fear associated with this document. As long as you're not doing anything wrong, you don't need to
Okay.
worry. You don't need to worry about anything. If you're doing
Oh,
something
okay.
wrong, then yeah, there's reason to be afraid, right?
Well,
What it
no, no,
is,
no, no, no. It was more so for me. It was more so about the fine that you were going to get for not
yeah.
registering your info or something. So I was just trying to avoid the fines
Of
for
course.
the most
Of
part.
course. No, and we're
Yeah.
taking care of that for clients. Again, because we don't want anybody to be fined. But there's ample time to do it. But if you are setting up an LLC right now in 2024, they only have 90 days to file it, right? As
Yeah.
of
No. No.
January
No.
as of January 1st, 2025, if you're setting up an LLC this time next year, you only have 30 days. It'll become
Mm,
part of the documentation that will be filed when you're initially setting up your LLCs, right? And it's
all
designed
right.
to keep foreign entities at bay
Right.
because there's a lot of people that are doing business in the United States that shouldn't be doing what they're doing. They're buying real
Okay.
estate and the government needs to be stepping up. I support it to a certain extent, but I believe in doing things within the letter of the law. The laws are very, very lucrative for us. and there's nothing that we need to be afraid of.
The other
Okay.
thing I'm not concerned about it is I don't get it quite clearly. I mean, this is identification. This is you're supposed to be telling about your business and all the aspects and who's controlling the business and who's running the business. Now, I set up my LLC in Delaware also as, where I wanted to hide my identity. How will this affect my identity that I've already had for holding my identity? So how does this work? Does the government just get this? Because that's what I thought it was, but it seems like now everybody's just, oh, the government's going to know everybody. No LLC secure all attorneys, and everybody can find out who you are. How does this work actually now?
We don't know. That's the reality. There's a purpose to it, and again, I don't worry about things like that. Maybe I should, but I think that your identity, if you're a big fish, if you're doing something wrong, then they'll pay attention to you. But a little guy, I wouldn't worry about it. So, but
Yeah,
but
because
but time will tell. Time will tell. I know long.
the nature of my LLC was to hide it from creditors and hide it from anybody that decided if I, like I said, if I wanted to buy property, and a real estate, and if somebody goes on the property and slips and falls, and they find out who I am, they're going to come after me. Or if I get in a car accident, that's what I'm trying.
It is my understanding that this information is not going to be readily available to the public for that perspective.
That's what I heard, but ever since January, I mean, everything's been changing. Everybody's been saying, "Oh, government's going to see everybody, and everybody's going to see everything."
That's fear mongering. That's fear mongering, right?
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
You
I'm
probably not going to do mine until September or October anyway. So,
well, the reality is when things change, oftentimes new loopholes need to be discovered, right? So it may
right.
be that we start restructuring things differently, or it may be that it may end up that a traditional LLC that used to serve a really good purpose for being anonymous, that they don't serve that purpose anymore, and it may be better to get things set up as a trust and have your trust named as whatever, right? Because the trust has the ability to protect certain things. The only person that needs to be known on the trust is the trustee. That's it, right? So now if you're going to be the trustee of the trust, then you become the face, right? But the beneficiaries and all of that can remain anonymous, right? What the assets are, those can remain anonymous. But again, it's we're in the discovery mode, right? And as Jim Rohn says, if you don't like the way things are going in your government or in your country, you can always go off and start your own. Right? That's it. But this is, for the time being, this is where we're dealing with. It's part of the reason why I'm here in Mexico is I'm learning. Okay, what are the values of the infrastructure down here in comparison to the United States? Right? And I don't know yet. We're still sorting it out. But every week I'm also looking at castles in the Highlands of Scotland so I can go disappear, right? So I don't know. And that's, our job is to dream, right? And put fortresses around our finances and surround ourselves with good, strong, smart people. If you want to dissect the legal system and how do we protect ourselves against the legal system, just look and see what's going on with a lot of the people in the United States who have been wrongfully imprisoned and are being tormented legally. As I said before, St. John or St. Paul wrote the majority of the New Testament while he was imprisoned. Oftentimes it's the imprisonment or the challenge or the experiences that we go through that open up doors on the other side for us, that put us in a unique place, right? So, but we never fear. We're always being proactive in our pursuits, right? Make sense? So, all right. Any other questions about taxes and how to be better prepared for this year? I am going to be back in LA next Friday, a week from tomorrow, and so those of you who we take care of your stuff, let's get it done as early as possible, and so that way you can check that box and move forward. Any questions? All right. Next topic is sourcing properties, sourcing investment properties, because we've been talking a bit about this, and I wanted to share with you some things that I know that I've known of for a while, some things that I'm discovering, because a lot of times, if you don't have exposure to certain things or certain tools, you don't know, right? So let me share with you what we've been talking about recently, and I encourage everybody to, where we screen share, Chrome, share. All right. I was talking about a good strategy and a good plan for everybody for this year. A good goal, and certainly my goal, one of my goals, is to buy a fourplex, a threeplex, or a fourplex in another state, preferably a state that has no income tax, or find one in the area where you live in, but get it so that it's affordable. A fourplex or a threeplex, the value with it is when you're qualifying for it, your income is only a percentage. Your ability to qualify for it is only a small percentage because you have all of the other rents that included combined will help you pay the mortgage payment, right? And so from a tax perspective, if you make one of the units your primary residence, right? If you make one of your units the primary residence and you keep that for 2 years, down the road when you sell it, you can offset the capital gains from that property, right? And then you can buy another one and do the same thing over and over again. But the topic came up, like, how can you afford some of these properties? So I'm going to give you some of the sources that I utilize for finding real estate. So there's one called loopnet.com, LOOPNET.com. So this is loopnet.com, and it's nationwide. You can go in here and type in where you're interested in looking at properties, right? I put in Indiana because there's affordable properties in Indiana, but I can put Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona. I'm looking for see up here, the type of properties. I'm looking for multifamily, okay? And then it shows you all of the multifamily units that are available. And here they are. Oh, why does it do that? So this one here is a 6-unit apartment building for $1.4 million. Here is a 10-unit apartment building. Those are too big. That's not where you start. But we're looking for a 4-unit. Here's a 4-unit, which is for $1 million. That's obviously too much, right? But Phoenix is a very developed market, right? That's why I don't recommend the main markets, right? But if you choose a smaller market, somewhere like, let's say, Waco, Texas.
How about Flagstaff, Arizona?
Flagstaff, Arizona. We can put that in as well, right? So well, let's here in Waco, right? Here, oh, why do I hate this computer when it does that? So here is a 4-unit apartment building here for $430,000. Here is a 3-unit mobile home park for $250,000 in Waco, Texas. Right. And you said Flagstaff, Arizona. Let's see what's up there. And just shoot.
Flagstaff, Arizona, or Sedona, Arizona would
Well,
be nice.
Sedona's going to be expensive because of what it is. That's a holiday destination.
All right, how about Santa Fe, New Mexico?
Santa Fe, yeah, that's better, right? So
Not
now,
outside Albuquerque.
so Flagstaff doesn't really reflect any multifamily properties. So I just open it up to all properties and see what the prices are up in Flagstaff. So you've got a building, commercial building for 1.6.
Santa Fe is going to be kind of pricey as well, I'm pretty sure.
Sure. But again, you're not looking for anything specific. What you're looking for is a market that's affordable to get into, right? Because again, when you don't own real estate, it's not, you're not in a good place. But once you own it, once you're in it, then you go, okay, great. Now where do I want to go, or where can I go from now? And you keep going up and you keep building up and building up and building up, right? So Flagstaff, they're all a little on the expensive side, but these are commercials. There's not a lot of multifamily, right? And so if I just type in Indiana, now I see the whole state. I put on multifamily, and oftentimes this is how you actually learn about places, because you go, oh, Lafayette, I didn't know. I never even knew about Lafayette, right? And Indianapolis, Richmond, we bought some properties out in Richmond. Here's a 7-unit apartment building for 425,000. Look, okay, here's a 3-unit building for $75,000, right? Zone B4, separately metered investment property. Again, and you just start looking. You're not looking for anything in specific. You're just collecting information, right? And so sometimes you may need to do some work in order to get them ready. But if you're buying a 3-unit apartment building for $75,000, right? And you figure it out, right? So that's one resource. LoopNet is really good for commercial properties, multiple family units, things like that. Now this one, let's look at this one here no, that one needs a lot of work as well, right? But 7-unit apartment building. So it looks like it's a big house that's been converted, or it was a rooming house of some sort, right? Whoa, that's scary. Right? But don't be afraid, right? So that's one source. Here's another one. This is a great website here. This website is being used a lot for some of the Section 8 housing, which again, single family residents, we've talked about that. Section 8 housing is when the government pays the rent for the tenants, right? This is investorlift.com. Investorlift.com.
Euless, Texas, 33,000, 3-bedroom, 2 baths is a good deal.
Well, that's actually I clicked on that because it didn't make sense.
A nice town to retire at.
Well, that's actually taking over somebody's mortgage. You get into the house for $33,000, right? But this one here at 63,000, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, right? So this is an actual purchase of a home. for 63,000. And I've been to, like, we bought some duplexes. We bought a duplex for $13,000, and it wasn't in bad shape at all. It needed to be renovated, kitchens and bathrooms, but it was an incredible deal at $13,000, right? And so, but these are the different websites. And again, you're never going to learn things unless you start doing your homework. So, as part of your homework, I recommend you go on to either investorlift.com and set up an account, and then you can kind of get in there and you start looking. Ultimately, when you're looking for houses like this, you're looking for houses that are not older than 1950. You're looking for houses that are smaller. This is for Section 8 rentals, not older than 1950 and not bigger, not more than 1,500 square feet, usually in the ballpark of 1,000 to 1,200, 1,300 square feet. It's perfect. You know, oftentimes on this website here, you can find no money down deals, right? But you got to kind of go in and you got to start looking and learning. That's the only way you can learn, is by initiating it, start looking, and before you know it, like this one here, Baltimore, $51,000, right? After repair value on this is $150,000. So again, you can make $100,000 on it if you have the ability to renovate it, right?
How do they wind up like that? Does people just tear them up like that?
No, what happens is usually you have somebody who goes in and starts working on it, right? And then either something comes along, something changes, change of weather, change of run out of money or whatever, right? But this is somebody who has initiated a build, right? But again, I'm just clicking on them. So this one here is $99,000, $100,000 home in Franklin, Columbus, Ohio. My nephews live not too far from here. You know, you just got to get rid of the junk. You got to go in and clean up the house a little bit. You learn how to bring value, because how money's made in real estate oftentimes is the value add, right? It's by you buy something and you have skill sets or you have resources and you start fixing them up. Now, again, you're mostly looking for something that's what's called turnkey. These are big rental or renovation deals, the ones that I've been clicking on right here. But as you start looking, do not miss out. 2-acre piece of land with a mobile home in Texas, 57,000. I'll take 2 acres. I won't take that though. Right. But you understand the point and the exercise. Make sense?
Right.
Right. So go through, start familiarizing yourself. Look, here's an apartment building in Ohio, $360,000. But again, it's worth, well, after repairs, worth $600,000. 1956. If you've got halfway decent credit, you can buy this building, right? Make your primary residence, roll out after a year or two, and with 200, 300 grand in it, sell it off, turn it into something that's profitable. No pictures on the inside, but 12 units. That's a little too big to start on. But if you're hungry, you get excited. There was a place, let me see, Richmond. Realtor. Plexes.com. Richmond, Indiana. This is a beautiful, beautiful little town right on the Ohio border. And so here's some homes for under $60,000. And you just gotta look and see, right? And here we go, $44,000 for this house. A little big for Section 8, but
Oh, yeah, it's 4,800 square feet.
this one is 1664. So again, they're with Section 8, there's like a sweet spot where just under 1,500 square feet. But you know, again, if you're adventurous and you've got some skills and you've got you know, this old house here for 45, 2 bedroom, 1 bath. But there's tons of properties out there. Make sense? Hopefully you guys get excited about that sort of stuff, right? I know I
Yeah.
do, right? So anybody's learning, just get a few different, again, realtor.com is good, but it's kind of hard to find where to look. I like LoopNet because the way it interacts, you can just kind of click and see multiple units and start fishing around. You see some 3 and 4 units. Again, the reason why I like a 3 or 4 unit as opposed to single family is good if you're doing Section 8 right now in this environment. But if you do multiple families, if you do a triplex or a fourplex, now you have the income from the property that helps you qualify in order to get the property, right? That's the key. And then one of them you keep as your apartment, excuse me, while the other property cash flows itself. So the property is already paying for itself and you get the tax benefits of having it as your primary residence. Any questions about that?
No, I'd like LoopNet, but I actually like renters better because when that helps me find out a lot of little houses. Because I found one out in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, for about 17,000. But after taking a good look at it, it needed a lot of repair, so a lot of work on the yard and everything. Like the tree has actually grown almost all over the house, so you have to take down half the tree.
Right. If the price is too low, there's a reason why, right? So a sweet spot's going to be somewhere between 49 and $65,000, right? And for Section 8 housing, because those houses you usually don't have to do too much in order to get them inhabitable, right? Make sense? But just keep familiarized because there's a lot of money being made in that. And there's incredible skill set that is developed when you're learning to flip properties. We did a bunch of properties. We were doing them down and I was just financing it for the most part, but my partners, they were we had about 8 houses or 10 houses down in San Antonio when the market was going really, really well. We'd pick them up, go in and fix them up a little bit, put a renter in it, really super, right? But then the market collapsed and we ended up selling off a bunch of the properties, but two of my properties went to foreclosure, which again, I don't wish on anybody, but you learn a lot through going through the process, right? All right. And now, oh, Bitcoin, right? So with everything that's going on, Bitcoin's going up, gold is going up, everything's going up. We've talked about 7K metals. I had Charles, who's one of the top people with 7K metals, connect up with some of the peeps this week. If you are open to it, I would like to connect you guys up with Charles so that you can hear what is in store with 7K, given what's going on in the marketplace, right? Again, from a tax perspective, there's incredible value because you can be buying gold and silver, and that can be a business write-off for you, and then ride the wave up with the value of gold and silver as it continues to increase, right? So there's never been a better time than now to take action, right? Does anybody have any questions about anything that's going on in the world? Anything that was covered tonight?
I'd like to learn a little bit more about the trust, that non-grantor, irrevocable, complex, spendthrift trust. I don't think I got it right, but close enough.
On Instagram, have you did you look up the intelligent banker?
Yes, you mean Chris?
Not Chris, Josh Nelson. Is that right?
I think it's Josh Nelson. Let's see. I think I had him on YouTube. Let me see.
Real intelligent banker. Okay, real intelligent banker.
Let me see if I can scan it. Real intelligent banker. Real intelligent banker.
Correct. That's Josh Nelson, and he's got a ton of clips on there where he breaks down the elements of the trust and why it works. And again, I have 5 people registering either this week or next week. Actually, no, tomorrow's Friday.
Oh yeah, I saw when he talked
It'll
to
be
this
next
one
week,
guy.
right?
Yeah, for an hour and a half. Let's see, what's his name? Intelligent banker. There was one guy, him and one guy talked for a long time about it. How to structure.
Craig Edlund. Craig Edlund.
Yeah.
He's they're the specialists, right? And again, the more I speak to people, because they're coming out of the woodwork, they see the value in what we are offering versus all the other stuff, because being outside the legal system, being outside of the legislative law system is the place you want to be, right? But still protected by the law, contractual law versus legislative law, civil and common law, right? That's the distinction with our trust. And I was on the phone today with somebody who's very, very active in the cannabis industry, right? They've got multiple 7, 8-figure deals coming through, and they're going to be able to offset all of their almost all their tax liabilities, utilizing the infrastructure and the structure that's possible once this is in place, right? So there may be a couple of videos that I could send your way, right? Or give you access to the website, but that's the best place to start collecting. Or
Well, like I said, I got into a lot of it. I started reading a lot about it, and I was reading some about the codes, United States government codes. I think it was
IRC,
RC
yeah,
RC 643B. I think
yep,
it was.
that's it. Yep.
Yeah, RC 643B. That's the one that you have to make sure that it's set up right, because that's because all the rest of it is easy to set up, but that's RC 643B. I think it's A, B, and C and D between all those three.
And
You set those up in right.
our accountant is the one who keeps everything totally compliant, 100%. That is her specialty, right? So So that's the value that we offer versus anybody else. So add that, and then you combine it with life insurance and leverage and all of those things. There's no end to its ultimate value. So all righty. So super excited again. I'm going to start getting really busy with taxes this coming week. But if you have anything that comes up, feel free to text me, and let's be in touch. I know that Queen, I still owe you something, and Ashley, I owe you something, and Monica, I owe you something, and Margaret, I owe pretty much everybody something. So hit me up. Yes, Margaret.
When's a good time for us to talk again?
Call me tomorrow.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Thanks.
don't wait for me. You call me. Call me. Because
Okay.
I just have, it's like 24 hours a day. There's always somebody calling me. So if you call me, then you get my attention. So
Sure.
alrighty.
Thank you. Okay.
But I'm ready for you. Okay.
All right.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you.
All right. Have yourselves a great week. And again, as always, it is a privilege and an honor. I do not take your time for granted. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your commitment to yourselves, your children, your children's children, your community, your world. At the end of the day, we are only here because we get to serve others. Anything else
Yes.
other than that is just selfish thought. Take care. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Stephen.
Bye-bye, guys.